I know it sends a whole dark, horrible shiver down the spine of Manchester United fans when we talk about transfer saga. We are the best at transfer sagas. Transfer problems, complications, whatever you want to call it, United are the best at it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about it again. Jean Claude Todibo off, showing importance as why Gerard Branthwaite now is even more vital that United get this deal done. It's all going to be pear-shaped in the old defensive department on the transfers this afternoon. More details on that from what Fabrizio Romano dropped earlier on today. So Jim's plan and what he wants to change at United. Greenwood, Ahmad updates as well. Big bids and a lot of bids going in for Mason Greenwood now. So we're going to get into all of that. Get your questions in. Go through everything that's happened over the day. Germany are in cruise control right now. That game is pretty much over. Scotland, well, are they going to go out tonight? We don't know. I'm having a night off from Tifo and the watch-alongs tonight. It's pure Manchester United news, and we're getting into the details of what's happening with Jean Claude Todibo and a complete and utter, I would say bombshell, but a bit of a swerve ball that came in, and why nobody even thought about this in the first place, because we're going to go into what Fabrizio Romano said, and then obviously we'll get your opinions on this and how no one picked up on it. But yeah, kind of a weird one. Definitely something that we've not seen before anyway. So let's get into the show, everyone. Welcome along. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Get your likes in, please. Let's get them right up there. Obviously, let's get everybody subscribing as well. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can get involved in the chat then, as many others have already done so, and there's plenty of people talking already. So what is actually happening? I'm going to go straight in on the news with which Fabrizio Romano dropped literally, just over an hour ago it was now. Jean Claude Todibo to Manchester United is currently off and highly unlikely due to UEFA rules. Talks were advanced with all parties keen for months, but Nice and United playing in the same European competition next season means no green light. Basically, dual ownership again. And United having to do that deal with UEFA to play in the Europa League, i.e. Nice and Manchester United both play, has obviously come at a cost in the transfer market, because now we can't play Jean-Claude Todibo. Todibo, obviously, a Nice player, and Manchester United being in the same competition and not allowed to buy him in under UEFA rules. Kind of a weird one, kind of a crazy one. But if this was Manchester United's structure, if this was the plan and a transfer plan to have Todibo on the waiting list, because we know we're going for Branthwaite, that's all in motion as it is right now, but we needed options in case this didn't come through. Is this why Matthias de Ligt came onto the scene all of a sudden? You could put 2 and 2 together and make 4 with that, or make 6, or whatever it is with Manchester United. Now we have transfer dealings and how our transfer windows go, but it kind of like makes us look a bit stupid again, doesn't it? Like, we've agreed personal terms or whatever. Manchester United, one of our top targets, now completely off because we're in the Europa League along with Nice. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe having dual ownership, or part ownership and ownership, has cut that one completely off. It's crazy. It's crazy how this has actually come about. And who at Manchester United was not looking into this and how this might come about? I actually do feel like, look, they were looking at it while trying to negotiate in on the Europa League and making sure that both Nice and Manchester United could compete in that competition. And it's come about within them negotiations that this is what you're going to have to do if you want to compete in the Europa League. Todibo or buy any players across, and that's why I think other targets have come about, and maybe why we've gone all in on Gerard Branthwaite so quickly. I feel like we're just finding out about this news now, and it's just been leaked out, but we knew quite a bit ago. And that's why last week we got the news on Branthwaite, and that's where it's all come from. That's how I feel. Yeah, no, I'm not absolutely devastated, but it just adds a little bit of pressure to the Gerard Branthwaite deal now, and that we need to get this deal over the line and get it done. And there are lots of reports saying that Manchester United are confident of this happening with Gerard Branthwaite. We're going to have to read through the news. Bear with me 1 second where it is. I did have it on my screen there a second ago. Sorry, guys. Yes, Manchester United are confident they can wrap up a deal quickly for Gerard Branthwaite, but only if Everton get realistic about their asking price. Of course, they're going to say that, and of course, they're going to say that we can wrap this deal up quickly if Everton agree. Everton are not going to agree. The first saga is coming. There's a line that's come out of David Ornstein, who looks into Sir Jim Ratcliffe as well, which reads, Ratcliffe wants to show that it's a departure from the previous regime, that they're quick and determined to get their business done. Welcome to United. That just doesn't happen, Sir Jim. I'm sorry. It doesn't. You only have to look at the situation we're in now with Todibo. And now Everton are going to look at that and go, for one of their so-called we're going to walk away if you don't agree to our price players has now been taken off the table. Give us another 5 million. This is what happens. I said it before, Manchester United taking advantage of Everton and their situation with Braithwaite. Vice versa. It works both ways. Now Everton will look at that and go, oh, well, yeah, now you really do need Jared Braithwaite. Because let's be honest, you're not going to be paying Matthias de Ligt's wages, and we're not going to be going for that player with his injury record. That's just not going to happen. Forget what Ten Hag likes and wants. De Ligt is a mistake waiting to happen big time in the Premier League. So Everton, all of a sudden, I think from being the more vulnerable out of this deal, are now looking like they're ones in pole position and looking quite comfortable and being able to say what they want and request and sort of like get what they want off Manchester United. The Todibo situation has just threw a spanner in the works of pretty much everything for United right now. And it's typical United. That's all we can say. It is just what you'd expect of Manchester United in a transfer window. The ups, the downs, the unknown and the unseen complications, which is buying a player for United. And that is what's happening here with Jean Claude Todibo and Jared Braithwaite now. It's like just when you think you've got the edge, it's taken away completely. I'm going to come into the chat on this one quite quickly because it is a bit of a weird one to see where you guys are at with it. Andrew says, it's ridiculous, Adam. They have known about this since they took over. We are a joke in the transfer market again, and other fans will be laughing at us again. Some might say that UEFA aren't being very nice, as in Nice, Altios has said. Clever one there. Crack a like for Adam, who has now fallen behind me in the Fantasy Football League, says Gray. Yeah, some people get lucky. I'll just wait till the end of the tournament and let's just see there. Not your fault, Adam. Their club would do anything to stay in the news. The rest of Europe is watching the Euros. Not my fault that United are still... Well, we make headlines without even trying, don't we? That's what we do. We're always in it. It's important. This is massive for United, though. It is. Like, I can understand us trying to get all of the work done while the Euros is on, trying to go under the radar with things. But we just cannot do it. It's impossible for United to get a deal done normally and sensibly without any issues at all. It's just the way we work. It's the way we work. But I would just ask the question, like, if you're so deep into the deal with Todibo, if you're so deep into negotiations, everybody's happy. It's been done for months, like Romano said. Surely you've got an inkling that being at Nice, the situations you might come across if we're both in the same competition or anything like that, you have to be above it, and we're not. So I think United now, like, Braithwaite has to happen. Will we be forced into actually paying more now from Everton? Possibly, yes. Chrissy says the rule came in last year, probably because of the Red Bull Group doing cheap deals together. They haven't just brought this in because of Todibo. No, we know it's not because of Todibo, which makes us, and this is why we're having this conversation now, Chrissy, regarding why Manchester United didn't pick up on this. They knew it was there, and we knew we were going to have complications regarding dual ownership. Then how come we cannot make this deal happen? How come we're just talking about it now and they were negotiating in like they didn't know about it? That's the stupid, pathetic thing about it. Like, surely someone's got to be there doing their homework. Yeah. But City are doing this with sponsorship deals. Well, by the end of this week, we should hear what's happening with that saga and that court case between the Premier League and Manchester City. So, yeah, watch this space with that one. Hopefully, we'll find out a little bit more after the weekend because that will be the 2-week period of that case and how long it's going to run on for. Let's just see now what else we've got there. Everton aren't so desperate now to sell. The noises surrounding the new owner being made a difficult negotiation made harder, says Gary. To be honest, mate, it doesn't matter about their owners coming in and having money because it's financial fair play. It's like trying to say that Newcastle are miles better off. They can't spend money and they've got the richest ownership in the world. It doesn't matter what happens with Everton's ownership model. The only thing that would help them is if they could sell Branthwaite and then reinvest it. And further down the line, they'll be able to help them with the new money coming in from the stadium and speeding that up and everything like that. There's different ways of looking at it. But in terms of spending this summer, new ownership for Everton isn't really going to help them. Guys, maybe we were in for him until we won the FA Cup. Then they have had to change plan. Evening to you as well, Mark. If Branthwaite is that good, why are there no other clubs going for him? It's a question I asked the other day, the honest Tiger. I did. Yes, I want Xerxes and Todibo, Kirkes, Hujmans, Theo Hernandez to United is better for next season. Yeah, in a perfect world, that would happen. Akash with the super chat. So, do the rules apply to City with Savio? No. Rules that were brought in at a certain time don't apply to others again when they come in. It's just incredibly complicated. It really is. It is. The news of the Todibo situation shouldn't make any difference to the Branthwaite. I would still walk away if Everton take the mick. We have set a precedent that will not be taken the mickey of. Hopefully, Jim, that is right. Hopefully that is right. But like they've said before, and like the news just said then what I read out, like if United are confident they can wrap this deal up quick, that only comes about if Everton start lowering the price, which I just don't see happening. And that's the problem they're coming up against. They're not going to drop the price, Everton. And I do feel like we will end up walking away if we can't get in for 50 million. We'll see how Everton carry on with from their side of things. We'll see how Everton try and play hardball with us. And then obviously we're just going to be left with second rate again. Not second rate as such in terms of quality. I think there are other quality centre-backs out there, but when it's made clear and it's obvious that United are in for Branthwaite, for us to lose then, it puts a bad sort of red flag over Ineos, doesn't it? Straight away the fans are like, we told you so. Ineos just as bad as the Glazers. United in for a player, don't end up getting him, and everybody's laughing at us. That's what it'll be. That's what everyone will be talking about, as they always do with United. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Let's get up to that 100 mark. Let's get there before the 15-minute mark if we can. Come on. Let's go for it, guys. Get them likes in, please. Get your questions coming in as well. We are talking to Todibo, not coming to United in any way at all. It's not possible with new rules from UEFA. If you have just joined us, that deal is off if it ever was on. Romano said it was, and conversations have been going on for months, and all terms are agreed with the player. Happy to move on, but UEFA have stepped in and just reminded United of a rule that actually does exist, which is that a player cannot play against a club which is owned by the same person in that same competition. So with Nice and Manchester United both being in the Europa League, Todibo will not be allowed to move to Manchester United. That's basically drawn down everything you need to know. Simple. Can see Branthwaite moving to Liverpool next summer to replace Van Dijk. They will never sell to Liverpool. Incredibly complicated, you say. Where are we at there? Sorry. You say, Adam, it's politics. It's not politics, mate. It's just there's a rule there that United cannot break. The player's not coming. There's no politics about it. The politics are in terms of making things move along and negotiating and making a deal happen. Politics don't include a rule being there that you can't buy a player. Todibo's off. Unless you're talking about Branthwaite. Then that does come down to football politics. Steve Brindle, welcome to the chat, mate, and thank you for donating that membership. That's gone to Staffo. Welcome to the Members Club, Staffo. Please give a like and a thank you to the man, Steve-O. Absolute legend that he is. I want to move on anyway. Manchester United dealing with the players that we have got and trying to get players out of the club. Mason Greenwood is attracting a hell of a lot of attention now. And yeah, there are a lot of clubs. Juventus are one, we know about that. But also, just coming in, Lazio. I'm going to start with the Lazio one because this came about first of all. Lazio have opened talks with Manchester United over 30 million deal for Mason Greenwood. Talks are developing positively over an initial 30 million fee that could rise with performance-related add-ons. Added to that, more news came out later on, which was Manchester United want 40 million for Mason Greenwood. We know that. But both Lazio and Juventus believe they could strike a deal for around 34 million with add-ons. And that's what was said before. It works out at 34 million with the add-ons. Juventus are offering Greenwood 100k a week wages on a 3-year contract. That's difficult to turn down. Juventus are pulling out all the stops on this one. The Athletic have gone in as well on this situation, saying Lazio, Juventus and Napoli are all interested in signing Mason Greenwood, while clubs in Germany, Spain and Portugal are also monitoring the situation. Getafe are interested in Greenwood returning to them on a season-long loan. That's not going to happen. But yeah, we have many suitors and Greenwood will definitely be leaving this summer. It just depends who he goes to. But 34 million... it's starting to creep up and up. We heard yesterday about a £25 million bid for Valencia. 34 million with a decent wage there if he goes to Juventus anyway for Mason Greenwood. So he's got to look at that and go, personally, that's doing really well considering his situation. I think he's swam the channel if he gets that. But it's all up to him. He prefers Spain, we've been told by a lot of people. But there's just a must with getting rid of Mason Greenwood more than anything that's overriding even the price, I feel. He just needs to be out of the football club and away and have nothing to do with Manchester United, I feel. And it just needs to be closed. Like, that story needs to be ended. You know what I mean? Curtains down, it's finished. Mason Greenwood's gone from the football club and everybody moves on. And you know what? I won't be surprised if the likes of Lazio, Juventus try to push it out towards the back end of the window to try and get a better deal out of Manchester United. But what you're going to face there is then other teams come in, and this is where the bidding war starts. Other teams then come in and start saying, well, we might go early and just try and appease Manchester United to get ahead of the others who are trying to be crafty. And then you'll find all sorts of different bids going in. But Lazio, Juve, Napoli, some big clubs coming in for Mason Greenwood. So he's got his pick of quite a few. Where do you guys think he will end up? I'm going to get into the chat on this now. Well, Adam, I can see us walking away from every deal and end up empty-handed. We might as well throw the towel in. Emma doesn't sound very happy, mate. Sorry about that, pal. They're not filling you with confidence, no. Frank Davison, if short-time pain means we don't overpay and sets a marker, I don't mind. I think there's a few with Frank there as well. Like, totally understand Henry's point and the frustrations of things and having to back away from deals constantly. I get Frank's as well. Like, Frank's definitely on the money there as well. Like, if we set that standard and that precedent and we don't go past a certain price and we don't keep getting ripped off by every single club that comes in for one of our players or clubs that we're bidding against, then it's good for United. It's good for the long run. The painful bit is, and like you said, like, you want something now. Ten Hag cannot wait for long-term gain. He needs results now. He needs players in now to try and help him out, to keep him at the football club. There is no long-term gain for Ten Hag right now. He needs to have a season just to still be at the football club next season. He needs a good one. Barry says Mason's going to Valencia. Yeah, I've heard all of the stories. He does want to be back in Spain. But decent wages, 100 grand a week from Juve. That's hard to turn down. We'll see how this one develops, and we'll keep a foot of everything that's going on. A foot of everything that's going on with Mason Greenwood, because I feel like this is a deal that's going to constantly change all the way through the window with everything going on. Price of dealing with Italian and Spanish clubs is that they will be happy to spend 3 months negotiating the fee down, all the while United paying his wages. Yep. Well, we can't expect anything to change on that side either. It's just the way it's going to be, I'm afraid, Benny. There's a reason he's in demand. I wish him all the best in his career, says Z. Be great if they want Sancho too. Chris said it would be fantastic if they want Sancho. Leslie, Adam Branthwaite has 3 years left on his contract to run. United tapped up another team player and you want him on the cheap. Don't tell Everton how much you will pay and expect that to be welcomed. No one's going to be welcoming anything, but at the end of the day, Branthwaite wants to go. And if they don't accept Manchester United's offer, Branthwaite could put in a transfer request. And then it gets even more complicated for Everton. So there is a balance to it. It's not a case of, well, you've spoken to our player, he's contracted to the club. That counts for absolutely jack shit these days. We all know it does. The negotiations will go on. You could see Branthwaite stepping in. We've spoken about that before, and putting the transfer request in. Anything can happen in this deal. And as we know, anything can happen with Manchester United at any time as well. It looks like Germany have bagged a 2-0 win. They are through to the last 16 as expected. Finally a clean sheet for Rudiger for me and my fantasy team. Adam Mason is getting 80k from us. 100 is not a major jump for him. Mate, it is in his situation. The only reason he's on 80k now is because he's on that old contract that he just signed before his, let's just say, misdemeanors off the pitch. So it is a major jump for Mason Greenwood because no one is going to be giving him that money anywhere. They're not stupid, but 100k, you have to snatch their hands off at that on personal terms if that's been offered. That's mega for Mason Greenwood in his situation right now. The best thing for the club is the slow change, but fans won't wait and managers will still be blamed. We are dated if we do demand, if we do, damned if we don't. We are damned, that was supposed to say twice. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. Sorry, I was reading the typo. Not your fault, Mark. I blame the iPhones, mate. Promise you that. It does it to me all the time. Yep, Steve, you're right. Like, Mark, unfortunately, there is no patience in football. It's why Sir Jim Radcliffe asked the fans to be patient. One of the first words that came out of his mouth was patience. We know that we need to be patient. I just don't think this fan base has got it in them right now. After the season we had, yes, life-saving end to it with the FA Cup final and the win against Manchester City, but still, it was a poor season. It was a really poor season for United, and we sugarcoated it a bit. The fans still know that the football wasn't great. The patience is not there as it is. Cheers for the 100 likes as well, guys. The patience is not there. And I just, like I said, do you know what? If we went into the season with the same team, I still think Ten Hag should be getting Manchester United right up there into the top 4. I do think it, because he's got players there. He has got players there. And it's unforgivable if he doesn't. And we can't say that he hasn't been backed already. He has had a lot of players. Yes, he needs to replace Varane. That's a definite. We need a defender in. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. You have to get a defender no matter what. A midfielder if Casemiro goes, yes, definitely. And we know we're in for Xerxes now. So let's just look at that situation and say, right, at least we're in for these players and they've recognised where we need improvements. So hopefully by the end of the window, we will have them players in them positions. Quiz Time says, what is the latest news on Manchester United UEFA Europa League spots? Have we got that spot, or UEFA kicked us out of the Europa League? No, we have got that spot, mate. The compromise was made. Manchester United are in. But I think in terms of what UEFA said, there's a time period of what we have to do to try and get through it. There's a time period of Manchester United turning something around to abide by UEFA rules to be in the competition. So, yeah, there's definitely a bit of a, if you come in, you need to do this situation going on with UEFA on that as well. So we'll see how that develops as well. But that will be something to do with the ownership model with Sir Jim and Nice. Maybe why we're getting rumours about him selling Nice. Could be. You don't know. Maybe. Nobody knows. But, yeah. Any news on left back? Keep up the good work, Adam, says Cindy. Left back? No, not yet. I think it's all going to come down to if we sell Wan-Bissaka and we need a right back before a left back. Because if we do sell Wan-Bissaka, we're only going to have Dalot on the right. We actually still have got Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia at Manchester United, believe it or not. Yes, them players actually do play for United, and they are still being paid by Manchester United. So we have got them players in. We just don't see them that much, that's all. But yeah, I feel like it will sway depending on if Wan-Bissaka goes. I personally think he's going, so it may be right back that we're looking for more than anything else. Does that mean if United or Nice are out of Europa by Christmas, we could get Todibo in January? I don't know. Maybe the rules, and there is a sort of permutation within them rules where things could happen. I've not looked too deep into it. I don't want to. I expect my football club and knowledge and the people that are in place to deal with that and figure out the situation personally. And if they don't, then we can pretty much go in on them and just say, look, this is Man United. I thought you were coming in to change. Like I said, I've just read out one of the lines that Ornstein has said about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe wants to show that it's a departure from the previous regime, that they're quick and determined to get their business done. Quick and determined. It does look like we're making all the right noises in terms of quick and determined. Cheeky bids are definitely in for the right type of player. We've definitely identified the areas of the pitch where we need players. And yeah, let's hope that we can get these deals over the line. Otherwise, like what the comments are saying, the patience of the fan base, any sort of mishap in this transfer window is going to be jumped upon by the fan base quickly. Very, very quickly. Especially the ones that weren't keen on Ineos coming in. It's just going to be the same old shouts, just the Glazers, nothing's changed, and we're back to where we was again. That's what you're going to get from a lot of the fan base. And Ineos do need to act fast and move fast and make sure that the deals happen. But most of all, make sure they do happen. Like, so if it takes a little bit longer, so what? You just have to make sure you get the right players in to give to Ten Hag. And that's the important bit. Let's just see what we got. Correct about if it's the same team, pal. But don't forget, 60% of these players have underperformed under the last 3 managers, says Steve. A lot of them have. I had something sent to me before from another Discord chat about United, about some inside information about Rashford, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount being the ones that are unsure with Ten Hag and being played out of position by him. I was just not understanding what he wants. Whether that has got any legs or not, you have to look at the performances of them players and then maybe question that. You do. Ahmad is also in the news as well. He's looking for assurances of his game time. Now, Ahmad, I can understand completely that would be the case with him. 100% he needs to know, because Ten Hag is the manager. And obviously, Ahmad had an issue with Ten Hag in terms of his game time. Ten Hag didn't particularly like him last season. I think we can safely say that. And we can safely say there's no certainty that after what happened in the FA Cup final and in bringing Marcus Rashford in, having offered nothing for us the previous 3 months, is going to be a worry for Ahmad. Ahmad will want assurances. It's come out, and Samuel Lucker said yesterday that Ahmad is now seen as an integral part of Manchester United's playing squad. One of the untouchables. Well, you can be untouchable, but are you going to get the game time? That's the question that I think Ahmad's going to be asking straight away. And honestly, I cannot guarantee it him. No one here can say that Ahmad is definitely going to be in that starting lineup. He's got players in front of him already. So with the contract situation that he's in, with that coming to an end soon as well, Ahmad is another one that you throw into the mixer of definitely needs sorting out quite soon, because if we do get rid of, we are getting rid of Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho, if Anthony does go, then you've got Ahmad next pretty much there on that side. Palestri's going to go as well. Then you need to be giving Ahmad a new contract. Ahmad needs a new deal so he can fully commit to Manchester United. Otherwise, his head's going to be turned and he's not even going to be fully concentrated on the task in hand. So, yeah, for me, I look at Ahmad and I go, that's an important one for Manchester United now. They need to get that sorted. They need to get that sorted very quickly. Otherwise, we're going to have another problem on our hands, and it's not looking good for Ten Hag. Like, everyone knows I've got my opinion on Ten Hag, but I want Manchester United to do well. I couldn't give a toss if it's under Ten Hag. I just want the club to move forward. So I look at it and I go, if Ten Hag is going to be out the door if he doesn't sort these situations out, or if Ineos don't sort these situations out, because it's their job now. So we're looking at it realistically. Unless he's got improvements in that squad start of the season, then we're going to be back to square one. That's how it is going to be. I really didn't like Ten Hag last season, and I haven't changed my mind on that either, says Christopher. Ed says, I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to anyone who I have corrected regarding the Todibo situation. I thought that UEFA set the rules and not FIFA. Benny says, Ahmad about as integral as Lingard was. Let him go. Barely started, and the club looking to sign Elise too. Let Ahmad get on with his career. I'd keep Ahmad and not sign Elise and use the Elise money to buy a proper centre midfielder. That's my opinion on that one, Benny. Casemiro staying or going, says Cindy. I think Casemiro will go. Like, the noise is coming out. Like, Bayern Munich have touched base, apparently, with Casemiro. But Casemiro didn't like what they were offering, so that's a no-go as well. That's not happening. So, yeah, we can forget about him going to Bayern Munich. But I think he will go. El Nazar are still well and truly interested in Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro as well, guys. So that's still not going away either. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the up-to-date outgoings. Like, well, the Euros is on. It's going to be complicated to get the surefire news. We're not going to get anything crystal clear and dead cert on Xerxes, not until next month, because Holland will be qualified from the group stages. They'll be into the last 16 of the Europa League. The European Championship. So nothing's going to happen with that one either. And yeah, it's just going to take a bit of time. Like, Branthwaite, we can get done. And I think what Ineos' approach will be is, like, try and get what you can done while the Euros is on, i.e. players available who have not gone to the Euros, and then be ready to attack as soon as the Euro finishes. I think that's what we've got to look at. I agree with you, Adam, but will the club do that? If you're Ahmad and the club signs Elise, you have to move on. No, if they sign Elise, mate, you're right, he's gone. He's gone. I'd be walking out the door instantly. See you later. Not even bothering to ask. That's where I would be. I prefer to give people their chances with window, i.e. Cambuala, Ahmad, the young players that have been loaned out, see what they have to take from there. I'd be happier getting rid of the crap. Yeah, a lot of people would, Frank. But yeah, guys, that is your updates. Short video tonight with everything going on with the news. Just a bit of an update video. They're going to be mixed bags while the Euros are on, guys. Please do give the video a like. It'd be fantastic if you could get me up to the 150 mark before we finish. That would be excellent. So please give the video a like. Let's get up to 150 as we finish up. And then we will be back tomorrow. I'm having the night off from the Euros tonight. I'm just going to chill out for a bit, have a break, and then I'll be back full force tomorrow. It's England in the afternoon, early lunchtime show tomorrow on FUTV here on YouTube. And then obviously in the evening later on we'll have our late show as well. So yeah, stay tuned for everything, guys. I'll be all over it all. And yeah, thank you again. Absolute legends. A lot of you. Love you all. And I will see you all later on. No, not later on. I'll see you all on tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Have a fantastic evening. I love you all. Have a good one, people.